that squats aren't that good for your legs. Next is testimonials. If there's someone else who can relate to the reader that has gotten the result the reader wants, it does wonders for building trust. People will trust you if others trust you. So for example, the other testimonials, hey, I've taught these people how to live happier, healthier lives. And they're like, yeah, Dr. Tyson, you know what? I checked him out and I wasn't sure, but I did his chiropractor class, and now I live and feel happier than ever. If you have other people trusting you, then that person is more likely to trust you as well. Next is proven scarcity. Okay, so like I already said about scarcity, but making scarcity proven, adding actual facts and figures to it, making it real is something that, again, is going to work wonders. If people can't come up with a genuine reason as to why your scarcity exists, then you will have no reason to prove it. Pro tip, scarcity can always be created. So for example, if you have an online program or course, like all these gurus do, and they say, make sure you buy it now, otherwise the price is going to go up, or make sure you buy it now, otherwise it's not going to be around forever, or we're going to run out of courses. Bro, how do you run out of an online course? It's literally a video. How do you run out of it? It's stupid. So you see anything like that, and then automatically you're going to think, this dude's just trying to sell me his garbage, whatever. He's just one of those scam guru guys. And you shouldn't trust them because that is literally, that's garbage. But how do you actually create real scarcity? Well, it's kind of like I did in the other email example. I justified it by saying we have a limited amount of coaches that can actually take these calls. And the thing is that it's actually true. The scarcity is real. It's not just some airy-fairy made up stuff like, oh, we're going to run out of online courses, or oh, my ebook is going to sell out. Like, how do you sell out an ebook, bro? Come on now. Next, of course, is analogies. So building off of proven concepts and things that people already know is a great way to convince them of your point. So it's a lot like the coffee example that I gave you guys at the beginning of this course. It's like a $1,000 cup of coffee. You're gonna consume it all, and you're gonna get the most out of it because you committed the most to it. Right? And that's how I want you to see this program. That's how I use an analogy to actually get my point across and explain it to you in a better way. Next, we need to understand the only two human motivators that there even are. The only two human motivators are moving away from pain and moving towards pleasure, with a slight bias towards moving away from pain. If someone has a certain standard of living, let's say, they'll usually fight tooth and nail in order to avoid regression. So let's say they're making $100 a month. They're going to do whatever it takes in order for them not to fall to $50 a month. But if you tempt them saying, hey, you got to do this to reach $200 a month, they'll want to, but they won't be as motivated. This is something that we can use in our copywriting to evoke emotion. For example, 93% of the top economic publications are convinced that the worst recession this generation has ever seen will come in about the next 1 to 3 years. If you're currently unable to live a couple $1,000s below your means, expect to be forced to downgrade houses, sell items that genuinely give you joy, and cancel the plans of your next vacation. The only reason I say this because millions of Americans are already being forced to give up these things. And evidence has shown that things are going to get 5 to 10 times worse. Boom. So that's adding all this justification, all these reasons, and also using a little bit of emotion by saying, look, you're going to be forced to actually give up all these things because people are already being forced to give them up. And it's only going to get 5 to 10 times worse. That is going to persuade people into taking action, whatever action that I suggest them to take. And then this is moving towards pleasure. So the majority of people live in quiet desperation, longing for more out of life, but settling for less. By using this human bias and positioning ourselves as a solution, we can persuade our readers to actually take action. And next, we need to understand the what's in it for me, also known as WIIFM. You'll hear this a lot in copywriting circles or whatever with copywriting groups. That's because what's in it for me is crucial to every single piece of your copy. We currently live in an era of information overload. That's why people's brains are getting better and better at ignoring things. Can you imagine if you actually watched every single video that you came across, or actually were intaking every single piece of information that was shown to you? You'd literally never stop intaking information, and you'd never actually retain any of it either. So our brains have become ignoring machines. We ignore 1,000 times more things than we actually consume in a day-to-day basis. So in order for someone to actually care about your copy, we need to make the benefit clear to them very early on. In an email, for example, your what's in it for me, okay, or your reason as to why they should want to keep reading should be within the very first 3 lines. For example, becoming a YouTuber can be confusing when first starting out. It's almost like the more you learn, the more questions you have. That's why in this email, I'm going to show you every common question new YouTubers have. That's the what's in it for me. That's the reason why you should keep reading. WIIFM, or whatever you want to call it. That's it right there. And as you can see, it's in the first 3 lines, and that's how you put it in there. By the end of this email, you'll have everything you need to monetize your channel within the next couple of months. Boom, even more what's in it for me, right? You don't have to add 2 lines, but I added 2 lines just to make people really, really want to keep reading. Even if you're currently at 0 subscribers. So I even qualify it too. So that is a fat what's in it for me. That's a big one. You don't need to make yours that long or 3 lines or whatever, but it should be at least 1 line. You need at least 1 line in there. Next, we need to understand more about the fear of missing out. Okay, so we talked about urgency and scarcity, but I want to go deeper into actual FOMO. Okay, that's the acronym. Nobody likes to miss the boat when it comes to opportunity. This is especially true in realms such as investments, for example. For example, imagine if you would have bought a couple of Bitcoin for $250 a pop and held onto it until now. Or if you would have purchased some real estate right after the financial crisis in 2008 when real estate was dirt cheap. People know what it feels like to think, damn, I should have jumped on that when I could. So by showing them that this is an opportunity that they could regret missing later, they're far more likely to take action now instead of later. Every purchase is an impulse purchase. So I want you to look here. This is Bitcoin, 2016 to 2021. So that's 5 years of a difference. And that is literally an extra $61,000 per Bitcoin. So 27,000% increase, which is just nuts in only 5 years. And most people miss that. I know I missed that, and it would have been cool to actually invest. But I mean, I was like, what? I was 16 years old. Bitcoin was not on my radar back then. So whatever, it is what it is. Now I want to go through some actual fundamental psych triggers with you on this sales page that I found. And so here we are on a sales page. Now this is a sales page kind of like I was explaining to you guys earlier. Now there's a few things to note here, okay? Quite a few things. So first and foremost, you see at the very, very top, what does it say? Fit pros, overwhelmed with what to post. So what is this? It's calling out their audience and asking if they have the problem that this sales page will fix. And now this, I don't know if it's a sales page. Yeah, no, it must be a sales page because it doesn't say free anywhere on it. So this is a sales page. I don't know how much it costs or whatever, but we're going to look at the actual page and then we're going to find out. Get the exact post, templates, and content planner that grew my following to 200,000 and signed more than 3,500 online fitness clients. So let's break it down. The what's in it for me, okay? Remember I told you about the what's in it for me, the benefit people only really care about themselves? The exact post, templates, and content planner. You can get that. And then this part, 200,000 following and 3,500 online fitness clients. That's the big promise. Also emotional, right? It's an emotional argument. And then here, without DMs, becoming an influencer, spamming social media, posting risque photos, or promoting scammy fad diets. You can get huge benefit with a big result without any of these pain points. So that's all most sales page headlines actually are, all right? Now we're gonna be going over more of like a sales page guide as we move on throughout the free course here. But I also wanted to spend a little bit of time on this headline because this is essentially all the headlines that you're going to see. Okay, they're very, very formulaic. You really don't have to reinvent the wheel. All right, so you're calling out your audience. You're telling them exactly what kind of awesome benefit that they can get. And you're also, saying that they can get it without any of these things that they either think that the program is about and without any of the pain points. So if you're a fit pro, for example, you probably have a lot of people saying, oh, well, you need to become an influencer, or you need to do cold DMs, or you need to spam social media. So you're probably figuring as soon as you get here, oh, well, it's probably one of these things. But now that you find out it's not one of these things, you're even more intrigued. You're like, I wonder what it is. Kind of like imagine if someone was like, hey, bro, I'm going to teach you how to build your biceps. And you're like, oh, okay, well, it's probably just going to be this stupid bicep curl exercise. But then you're like, yeah, I'm going to show you how to grow your biceps without even doing one bicep curl. And you're like, wait, hold up, what? Well, then what is it then, right? It kind of piques your curiosity. This is called a not statement. Okay, a not statement is essentially building intrigue because people usually think that they know what the answer is. They know what the punchline is. So if you prove to them that they don't know what the hell the punchline is, now they're going to be even more intrigued. So I guess I actually didn't show you guys how a sales page is usually structured quite yet. So headline, this is the video sales letter, okay? This, copywriter. This right here, written by a copywriter. And then as seen in Forbes, Entrepreneur, and these other ones. So this, of course, is building social proof. This is building authority. This is satisfying the logical part of the brain when it talks about all these publications that they were actually shown in. And here is a mock-up. A mock-up essentially kind of shows you physical examples of what you're getting. And then these here are called bullets. A bullet is essentially what you get and then how it helps you. And then what you get and then how it helps you, and then what you get and then how it helps you. That is how bullets are done. You'll see some people do bullets incorrectly, but they actually did the bullets quite well. So for example, a full month of recyclable posting templates to eliminate the guesswork and overwhelming feeling that comes with regular posting. So this is the feature and this is the benefits. Okay, remember I was talking about benefits to features? An easy way to translate a feature like this to a benefit is by saying, so you can. You get the A16 Bionic chip in your iPhone so you can play games and not have your iPhone crash, for example. 60 proven headlines that are pre-engineered to call in your dream clients and make them know, like, and trust you before they even speak to you. Systematized posting prompts and tools practically guaranteed to skyrocket your engagement. So notice how they're speaking about these, okay? And notice also the formatting. The formatting is italicized, bolded, and underlined. You shouldn't necessarily need to do. You could just do bolded and underlined. And then the benefit. So it's very, very easy to read. It's very, very consumable. Plus 10 done for you post templates. Download now and we'll send you this bonus. Boom. And then a little bit more about them and who they are, I suppose. And some more copy down here and then some more copy down here. So as you can see, there's all types of copywriting all over this page and all inside of this video. And there's probably copywriting inside the actual program as well. Because most of the times these small deal programs are essentially just positioned for you to consume the content, like what they do, and then decide that you want to work with them through a mentorship or something, which is going to cost sometimes 2, 3, sometimes 10 grand, sometimes 20 grand if it's like a business coaching type of thing. So that is exactly how all of this stuff works. Now you really, really know, and you have a tangible example. We've gone through all the psychological factors when it comes to reaching a page or writing copy just like this. And that was our one example, because now we have part 4, which is the copy commandments. Here are some hard and fast rules about copywriting that you guys need to know. You need to understand. And man, when I learned some of this stuff, it absolutely just blew the doors open. Not only did it really help me in the way of, okay, well, now I have a much better understanding, but it also gave me a lot of confidence because I realized, you know what? Copywriting is literally not just something super difficult. It's literally just taking certain bits of information and almost like filling in the blanks. Once you get it much better, copy will just flow out of you. I do this thing sometimes called freestyling, where I just could literally just write down a piece of copy and have it be honestly really, really good. Then maybe go through some edits and boom, it'll be done. I could write a really good piece of copy in like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. A lot of people, especially you, if you're just starting out, it's going to take you a little bit longer, but you'll get there. You'll get there. So rule number 1 about copywriting, okay? Great writing and great copywriting are very, very separate things, my boy. The following is regarded as one of the best poems and pieces of writing to ever be created by all mankind. This is the best writing ever. It's called Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Ozymandias. There was actually a whole Breaking Bad episode named after Ozymandias. It was actually the one where Hank died. Anyways, I digress. One of the greatest and most famous pieces of writing in the English language, and I quote, "I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed." That's kind of like half of the poem. But what the hell does that mean, bro? I don't know. If you know, I think you deserve a scholarship, bro, because I have no idea. What does that even mean? But that's the great part. This is some poetic stuff that probably took homeboy years to write just for me to not even understand it. That is terrible copywriting. And I'll tell you why it's terrible copywriting, because copywriting is supposed to be clear and concise. Your message is supposed to be transcribed from your head into somebody else's head in as little words possible. Okay, it's supposed to be as simple as possible. The reading level of your copywriting should literally be 10 years old. A 10-year-old should literally know how to read your copy and understand it. That means you will be making 6 figures as a copywriter writing like a 10-year-old. Remember this lesson: confusion kills conversions. That's lesson number 1 in all of marketing, all of copywriting. Confusion kills conversions. So always focus on clarity over cleverness. Your main goal as a copywriter is to communicate ideas in the most efficient way possible while using as little words as you can. It's not about being fancy. It's not about making all of these interesting analogies and metaphors and similes or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. Okay, we don't know oxymorons or whatever. All we need is simple, easy to understand language, right? That's all of the examples that I've shown you up until now. You've never been sitting there and going, I wonder what that means. Because it literally takes you a football team of scholars to understand what this even means, which is terrible copywriting, okay? So 2 very different things. Do not think that you have to come in here and be a great writer. Next is what we need to understand what is the value equation. What is value, right? You'll hear this term a lot, value, value, value. What does value really mean? One of the main goals of copywriting is to communicate value, but what does that really mean? 9-figure entrepreneur and business influencer Alex Hormozi came up with this useful equation, right? And this is a very useful equation. I'm gonna zoom in on it just so we really can see it better. So, as we can see, dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay and effort plus sacrifice equals value. Translation. So we need to maximize the dream outcome. So solve a problem worth solving. So we need to solve a big problem. So if you tell people, hey, I'm going to solve this little teeny weeny problem, like maybe you're a fitness influencer and I want to solve the problem, you not knowing what to post, right? That's a pretty small problem in the big, scheme of things. So that product that I just showed you, for example, was probably what? Most likely 27 or 97 bucks, right? Which is not a lot of money. If I were to charge people like 2,000 bucks for that, they'd be like, hell nah, that's like a little teeny weeny problem. I ain't paying a lot of money for that. So they were giving you value, but they were purposely just solving a small problem for you. Okay, that's what the whole thing about it was. But it was still good copywriting. And the reason why is because you need to keep price in mind, value to price ratio. You want your value to be way higher than your price at all time. Okay, so the price on that was pretty low. So it wasn't that hard to ham up a lot of value. Dream outcome plus perceived likelihood of achievement. This could be things like testimonials. So right here, things like testimonials and proven case studies. Okay, how likely are you to actually do it? And social proof and authority. So when they had all those publications, as mentioned in Entrepreneur and Forbes, now you're like, oh, well, damn, these people are really about it, right? These people were actually mentioned in these large publications that I know I've heard of before. That's how they build trust with you and multiply the perceived likelihood of achievement. Next of all, minimize time to success. How can we make it faster? How we can show more progress. Always adding things like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days always helps. 6 months, 1 year. These things always help. How to get monetized on YouTube in 90 days. People will be like, damn, I really want to know how to do that. Next is minimize effort and sacrifice. How can we make this easier, more seamless, and convenient? In the last example we looked at, we talked about templates, done for you systems, and all these sorts of things. Easy peasy. Next, I want to show you how a simple ladder makes millions. All right. This is your intro into marketing and how it all works. I kind of already touched on this just a little bit, but it's of course much worth mentioning again. This is my beautiful little diagram here. And before you guys say, yes, I know I could have pursued my artistic career, but I decided to do this copywriting thing instead. So for the most part, people will only do business with people who they know, like, and trust, right? People who they have a relationship with. I don't want to do no business with somebody I have no idea who they are. I'm kind of sketchy about them. I don't know. To get people to the state of trusting you enough to make sizable purchases, it's best to build a relationship with low risk offers first. Okay. Now here's yet another example from my boy Alex Hormozi. You can see right there on the left, it says warm. So this is a marketing term where if people are warmed up to you, then they like you. If people are cold to you, then they're still strangers. People who know you are like, hi, take my money. People who don't know you, cold audience, will be like, hi. And they'll be like, stranger danger. Man, get me out of here. I don't want to do no business with you. I don't know you. Next, we need to understand brand voice. And this one is so important. It's one that copywriters always miss out on. And if you can't nail brand voice, then it doesn't really matter how good your copywriting is. Okay, and I'll explain why. A huge mistake that many copywriters commit is speaking in their voice instead of the client's voice. Okay, I don't want to send out no copywriting that sounds like you and not like me. It's my brand, it's my business. I want it to sound like me. For example, if you want to send a motivating or inspiring email, You should use stories and learning lessons from your clients rather than from your own experience. If the copywriter tells a story about, hey, bro, so anyways, I was at the airport the other day and this thing happened. Like, no, I want it to be about the business. Furthermore, the style of communication should reflect that of your clients as well. If the client is less formal and more personal, the copy should reflect that, for example. Where can you get brand voice from? How can you actually understand brand voice? Well, you got things like TikTok sales pages, emails that they've already written, YouTube videos that they've already created, reels, stories, shorts, ads, tweets, captions, interviews, live streams. There's literally so much information that you can pull from as a copywriter. And I want to give you a quick example. This is my boy, Wes Watson. And he has a very distinct brand voice that I've never really seen anywhere else. Getting started with Wes Watson, blah, 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 blah. We just need to choose to effing win. We just need to choose to effing win. It's all perspective on what the F is winning to you. Winning to me is happiness, is inner peace. I chose to win. Conquer your inner voice, right? Your inner weak voice. Join my exclusive group that's filled with information and support of hundreds of people just like you to overcome life's greatest challenges. Understand that he has a very distinct brand voice. If you come in here too soft, like, hey, it's not your fault, okay? I want to coach you to overcome the mental barriers in your mind that are blocking you from your life that you desire. That's way too soft for this dude. This dude is hard. He's fast. He tells it to you like it is. He's like Andrew Tate times 10. All right. He's out here cussing at you on his sales page, which is something I've almost never seen before. But as you see, that's kind of his brand. That's his style. That's what he goes for. His brand voice is very distinct. You would also not want to use this dude's brand voice for some little yoga teacher or something. So you need to take this into account and always use the actual client that you're working for. So brand voice. Boom. Brand voice explained. Now you are, you're ahead of so many copywriters. Because so many copywriters, they focus on creating the best copy possible, and they're really good copywriters. They've been doing this for 3, 4, 5 months, but they're like, hey man, I don't got no clients. I'm like, yeah, no wonder you ain't got no clients, bro. You're writing copy that don't even sound like the people you're trying to write it for. So, now you know. Thank God, now you know. Saves you a lot of struggle right there, trust. Understanding your avatar/target niche. Your target audience is a general subset of people who may identify with your offer or content. An avatar, not like the blue people running around, I'm talking about the avatar in marketing, is bringing your ideal consumer to fruition so you can get a crystal clear idea on how to single them out, okay? Now that might not have made sense to you, but I'll give you a more tangible example. Target audience, males aged 18 to 24, lives in the United States, plays sports. That's the target audience. An avatar, Costin, the Romanian boss, is an 18-year-old guy who listens to Andrew Tate and other inspirational online figures. He's highly motivated to make a better life for himself and start a journey with self-improvement, but he struggles with the basics like waking up on time and eating right. So that's the avatar, right? It's very, very mega specific. I gave him a name. I gave him an age. I have an actual person, a one singular person in my mind. That's an avatar. Whereas the target audience is like a group of people who you might identify with. So why is this important? How can we use it? Well, on the shooting range, right? I told you guys I was in the military, but on the shooting range, a common saying is aim small, miss small. What does that mean? If I'm making an email with Costin in mind, it's a little bit different than if I'm making an email with just random 18 to 24-year-olds in mind. I might say something like, hey, if you're 18 to 24 and you play a lot of sports, maybe you play basketball, maybe you play football, maybe you play this. I'm going to literally, for whatever reason, like if I'm not being that specific, I'm going to speak like that. That might be how you want to speak with like ads or something. But if you're talking to a very, very specific type of person, this is how you enter the conversations inside of people's heads, like we talked about. If you're 18 years old, right? Maybe you've been out there listening to a lot of Andrew Tate and you're highly motivated. You want to make a better life for yourself. You know you're destined for more. You don't want to follow the conventional path. You don't want to go to no college. You don't want to go to no university. You know that path ain't for you, but there's still one burning question in your mind. What do I actually do? How do I start? I'm not really sure. I mean, there's too many options, yet not enough options at the same time. Well, I'm going to help you with that. Now I know exactly what to pull from. I know exactly what things to say to speak to my target audience. And hey, maybe there are some people who don't identify with this as strongly as Costin does. Those are the people in the target audience. But if I aim for the target audience, I'm more likely to miss. It's just like this. It's like a bullseye. If I aim for the avatar, I'll hit the avatar 50% of the time and hit the target audience 50% of the time. If I only aim for the target audience, I'll hit the target audience 50% of the time, but I'll miss the whole mark 50% of the time. That is a great way to actually make it tangible in your mind so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Part 5, it's time for us to understand some different types of copywriting. So I already went on to email copywriting quite a bit, but I want to explain this one little bit more, and then we'll actually take some examples of ad copy and sales page copy, okay? So email copywriting. Email copywriting consists of creating marketing emails that can be sent out to a company's list of email addresses, or can be automatically sent to each new subscriber as soon as they subscribe to somebody's email list. That is email copy. If that doesn't make too much sense to you, don't worry, because I'm going to speak a little bit more about email marketing as we go on. I also have a very, very in-depth free 1-hour course on email marketing that you guys can check out after this one. Next up, we need to understand ad copy. Okay, ad copy is anything that is created with the purpose of using cold traffic. If you don't understand, cold traffic is people who do not know you. They don't know who your brand is at all. This can be things like YouTube ads, Instagram ads, and Facebook ads. Okay, so let's take a quick peek at what that might look like. Boom. So this is an Instagram ad that I came across. Damn, my notification's going wild. If you don't follow me on Instagram, bro, Tyson.scales, you're gonna get a lot of great content there as well. $132,500 in 30 days from a $5 book. Now, isn't that interesting? So it's a big hook. Now you see this big result and you're wondering, well, how? How did that happen? You got the arrows, pointing towards where your eyes should look next. So also some other things to know. In 30 days, remember where we talked about value? We want to shorten the amount of time it takes for people to get to their desired outcome. This is the law of ultra specificity. You see where it says 132,500? If it just said 100,000, then it's not as specific as 132,500. Adding specificity to it makes it sound real. If someone says, where were you last night? And then you're coming up with a lie and you're like, I was at the grocery store. Then you're gonna be like, oh, dude, this dude's lying, bro. He's telling me he was at the grocery store at 8 o'clock at night. What were you getting, dog? What are you talking about? But if you were like, oh, I was at the grocery store, I needed some grapes. See, I've been eating a lot of grapes lately because I don't want to eat full meals, and eating grapes really does help me vanquish my hunger. So the reason why I was there so late is because I was so hungry, but I didn't want to commit to eating a full meal and cheating on my diet. So that's why I went to go get grapes at 8 p.m. Added all that specificity, and now you're like, damn. You can't make that stuff up, so I guess so. And that's actually real too. That's why I've been eating a lot of grapes. But I digress. Month 1 of launching my wife's Facebook group, she signed $132,500 USD of client contracts and had a full calendar of hot leads. This concept of hot and cold traffic is really coming up a lot. But good though, because now you guys are going to understand it. Hot leads. We only implemented the information from CNC's $4.95 ebook plus $200 Australian per day ad spend. 6,000 Australian ad spend into 132,500 USD. So that equals 195K AUD. Work out the ROAS on that. If you don't know ROAS, return on ad spend, it's a little bit above your pay grade at the current amount of time, but don't worry about it. The right offer plus the right strategy equals gold. Order your digital copy today. So this essentially is just a quick testimonial. But then we have more copy over here in the description, in the caption. This Facebook client getting method is so powerful. Please only use it ethically. Now you're thinking, damn, it's so good that I could use it unethically. What might happen? What if I do use it unethically? Ooh. Because it helps us sell out all the spots in our high-ticket coaching programs, forcing us to reject 30% of qualified applications ready to pay. So the only problem you're gonna have is that you have too many clients. You're gonna have too much money, you won't know what to do with it. Big payoff, big result without pain points, complex funnels, fancy websites, cold DMing prospects. We just use a simple Facebook group and the strategies we share with you here. And then the link. Inside, you'll learn, and then here's the bullets, just like I was saying. How to rapidly grow your Facebook group and fill up your blah, 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 blah. The new way to selling high-ticket programs to sophisticated buyers that overcome their skepticism even before you speak with them on the phone. How to position yourself as the instant authority and win the trust of your ideal clients so that they choose to work with you instead of your competition, and all these other stuff. Plus, you'll get the fill-in-the-blank templates you'll need to launch a new group or revive an old one to get a surge of new members fast. So feature, fill-in-the-blank templates. Benefit, revive your group. Bro, all of the stuff that I'm showing you is very formulaic. You're starting to notice a pattern. All the patterns that you're noticing right now is literally all copywriting is. It's just patterns. I don't want to say templates and fill in the blanks because even though that realistic is what it is. It's pretty much all templatized, all fill in the blank, right? I don't want to sound like, oh, super easy. All you got to do is fill in the blank, make $1 million. But essentially, it's kind of what it is. Fill in the blanks, throw it through ChatGPT, use some AI, just like I'm about to show you how to do. And bro, even if your English ain't good, bro, you're a good ass copywriter. You're killing the game. Right? And then of course there's sales page copy. I've already kind of shown you guys one sales page, but I'll show you guys another one. And it's actually the sales page to this ad that we just looked at. So whenever someone actually clicks on an ad or the link in your email, they lead to a page that will communicate the value of a product. It consists of this page, the contents of this page plays a huge role in its success. So we just looked at the ad copy, bro. There was the actual copywriting on the picture. There was the copywriting in the testimonial. There was the copywriting in the caption. And then, man, we go over the sales page. What do we find? Copywriting everywhere. This video is copywriting. This headline is copywriting. This is copywriting. This is copywriting. This is copywriting. This whole funnel. You can believe a copywriter was literally paid so many thousands of dollars. And then guess what? After they buy this product, they have to submit their email. Their email goes onto an email list. The email list does what? Emails, copywriting. Are the gears starting to flow with you now, man? I tell you that that copywriting is literally the glue that holds a whole company's business